there's another prospect that is young and hits the ball extremely hard and far, and I think has done everything to get to the big leagues, or everyone thinks he should be there. I think you know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
I think you have an idea. He's a massive individual.
Yeah, Steve, kind of the hot topic right now. To start the year, it was all Jackson Holiday. That's what people want to talk about. But now it's kind of totally shifted towards Coby Mayo. So from what you've seen, maybe it's this year or throughout the years, what are your takeaways from Coby? Should he be on this team? And how fast do you think he could get that promotion to come to Baltimore?
I mean, he could be one of those guys like Adley, Gunnar, Jackson, that you want to clear the decks for playing time when he gets there. He's not back and forth playing twice a week. So how do they do that is a question. Is the defense ready? Because defense is so vital to the Orioles. I mean, we know this kid, maybe he can hit 40 home runs, but if there's miscues at third base, that could be an issue over time. This team is airtight, almost everywhere around the diamond. So that's big for this team. And I think Kerstad's made some nice defensive plays in recent games, and that's a feather in his cap. He's going to have to prove every night he can hold his own out there. And Coby, when he gets here too. I think the question for the Orioles these next few weeks is if they want to get a big third pitcher for October to group with Burns and Grayson. They thought Bradish could be that guy. He's hurt. They're going to have to give up something no one wants to give up. One of these huge names, if you're in the market for Crochet or someone like that, very good years of control. You've got to have a massive deal. There will be more buyers than sellers. That brings the deal up too. So are the Orioles ready to pull the trigger and move one of their premium prospects? Fans scream, no. And I get it, man. These guys look great. But then again, you say, where can you play them all? If you have an excess, that's how the game has worked for years. The good teams with excess trade from that to get something they need. And that's making your farm work for you in a way beyond just the player coming to your major league team. So some big decisions are ahead for this team. Coby Mayo looks very ready offensively. I'm not sure about D. We're going to see. Kid worked hard on, changing his arm slot and some things over the last year or so. So let's see when his time comes.
Oh, yeah. So we finally got to the point where Ryan was having some technical difficulties. But I agree. The Orioles are going to have a lot of hard decisions coming up over the next 3 weeks now because the deadline is approaching. We've talked a lot on this show about you have to wait till July to really see what the team looks like, what you have, and then you start looking to deal. And that kind of goes into, Kevin, what you're about to ask, if you want to.
Yeah. Steve, you made a lot of really great points there. And even going back to it, I think the Orioles did make their farm work for them in that Corbin Burns deal when they had that excess of infielders and they decided, was Joey Ortiz going to get playing time with this club? They had a need for an ace at the top of their rotation, and they decided to get those prospects in the deal to get their ace. Now, we talk a lot about different prospects, and we've talked a lot about them here, but the Orioles, I know there's a certain level of panic within the fan base about the pitching staff outside of Corbin Burns and Grayson Rodriguez. And with the trade deadline coming up, I know there are a lot of people that want to see them maybe go out there, get a starter, maybe some bullpen help as well. But with the way that some of these prospects are playing, I know that you can't keep everybody, but there are certain guys that you look at the long-term future, and they are definitely a part of those plans. And one name that I think is really caught on fire recently is Heston Kjerstad, who has come up and absolutely taken advantage of every single opportunity. To a lot of people, he's moved into that almost like untouchable prospect category. But do you think that the Orioles would be willing to move off of some of their top guys, depending on who the pitcher is, at this trade deadline?
I mean, I think if they want the biggest fish or one of them, then they have to trade one of their bigger fishes. And some people who have asked in baseball have concurred with that opinion. You're not going to get prospects 8, 10, 12 and get Garrett Crochet. That's unlikely. So you're going to need to go higher than that up your prospect board. So that is a very critical decision for the team. And I think they are also considering They're focused on this year, but they also realize John Means is not there on opening day 2025. Neither is Tyler, neither is Bradish. Corbin Burns could be elsewhere. So that's a big difference in your rotation as it exists today. And you have all winter to make moves there with that. But if you can make one that helps you now and then, I think the team is going to look at it. And if there's any team out there better suited to trade for a big fish right now, it's the Orioles. It's going to come down to, people say, are they going to be aggressive? I think they were aggressive last year. They just didn't get to the point to pull the big trade, the huge, the blockbuster. So I think they're going to be aggressive. It's a matter of where is their line where they go, okay, we'll do that. We don't want to, but yep, we're going to do that one. And sometimes you're aggressive, but it doesn't get to the finish line. So a lot of the trade talk we never hear about, we're never told about, but a lot of behind the scenes stuff. It would be a fly on the wall. Mike Elias's office would really have some interesting audio to present to us these days.
Oh, no doubt about it. I mean, look, I'm glad you brought that up because people were saying the Orioles didn't want to make moves. It's the asking price and who's available that I think people need to understand. So the reports last year, Steve, I know you saw them, that Dylan Cease asking price was what? Potentially for Jackson Holiday. Yeah, the Orioles are not going to take the bait there. They're going to stand pat. This year, who's available? If Garrett Crochet's available, what's the price tag for it? And also, Garrett Crochet, to me personally, Steve, feels like a guy that you're investing for 25 and 26. Yes, he could be a guy in 24, but doubled his innings, injury history. There's a little bit more to go with that. And if Scooball is available, well, then heck, yeah, you got to go get him. But it's the market that right now that I can't seem to figure out. And Texas is a team where you're hearing that they could be sellers. If they get closer, though, they might change that perspective here. So I'm glad you brought that up.